Hey, John.
Hey, Eric. How you doing tonight?
I should plan ahead and have a word. I know it's coming every week.
Planning ahead is not necessarily our strong suit.
No, it is not.
Collectively. So it's all good. It's all
It
good.
is. It's been pleasant. The rains have returned. So we're into fall weather. We had our I guess Halloween was 2 weeks ago. We didn't get many folks.
Oh, yeah. We talked
But
after Halloween, but
I thought we did, but we didn't talk about Halloween.
we didn't talk about Halloween. Wow. That just is what happens when your kids are old enough that they don't, go out,
Yeah.
mine at least, trick-or-treating or anything like that.
Yeah, I had expected to get a bunch of kids since it was like the first dry Halloween in my memory. Normally it rains on Halloween,
True.
but we didn't get very many kids in our cul-de-sac anyways. So
Gentrification.
oldification, yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I've never had a single person come trick or treat at my house, so you know. But I did though. So I went down to Southern Oregon to for Parents Weekend with my son.
Right.
This past Friday, and when I picked him up, I was like, so. Do we need to get anything at the store or anything like that? And his words were discount Halloween candy. I was like, okay, I could do that. So we did. We went and we got a couple of bags of 70% off.
Right.
Same candy, just has bats and pumpkins on the bag.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was fun, and. He and I are a bit of a pair. We did a few things, but we also spent quite a bit of time sitting on the couch together, each of us on a computer he had a computer and a laptop, and we munched some Halloween candy. It was good.
Nice.
So yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
I had a good weekend. The weather down there was way better than up here. As I was driving back north, I'm 2.5 hours into the drive. So about halfway home, it got overcast. Like down there, it's on the other side of the Cascades. And so,
a little bit warmer.
In our neck of the world, all the water kind of gets squeezed out of the clouds before they go over the mountains. And
right.
So, yeah, it's beautiful, 300x days of sun a year, blah, blah, blah. It was a little chilly, but coming north, I kind of went into the clouds, and then the little drizzly, and then little more solid rain, and then by the time I was actually getting home, it was A, dark, and B, pouring buckets. Just buckets on the freeway. So
yeah,
it
was definitely a hangout inside weekend, which
yeah.
I did as well, and I actually spent the weekend writing code, which was very exciting for me because I don't have the opportunity to write a lot of code anymore. So I did some for me, I did some for work, and I just kind of enjoyed spending most of the weekend writing code for fun. So
that's awesome.
That was my fun weekend. I think the other thing, I don't think I had mentioned, but my oldest daughter, my wife, went down to LA a couple weeks ago for Lightbox. It's an animation conference. And when they went through TSA, they told her, my daughter, you don't have TSA pre-check. And they sent her back through the regular line, which confused me because I thought we've had, but apparently it's a 5-year deal and time had passed. And so I thought, oh, well, we'll just go renew you. And because she had done while she was in school, a study abroad trip to Japan, we had got her global entry and not just TSA pre-check. We spent the extra $25, I guess, or $22, whatever it was, to get the global entry piece, which comes with TSA pre-check. And so when I renewed it, I just renewed the global entry. And click, renewed the global entry. And that reminded me, I don't ever recall getting my global entry updated. And, I went and looked and on my account. So I logged in, checked my account, and my account still, hers went through in a couple days. Got renewed, didn't have to go in for an interview or anything. Just boom, boom, boom. She got her card in the mail yesterday. She's all updated. I went and looked at mine, and it says, I shall read the paper right here because I printed it out. It says, due to significant increase in application volume, we are extending the grace period to allow you to continue full benefits while U.S. Custom and Border Protection is finalizing your renewal application from January 4th, 2023. 11 months.
So she got hers in days, and you are still waiting months later. Months and months and months and months later.
I mean, in theory, because you pay $100 for this. And I have traveled since January, and I still have TSA PreCheck, and I am traveling here again soon, and I assume I still have TSA PreCheck. So
have you verified that?
on the one hand, I guess I don't necessarily care, but I ended up finding the support link on the government website and saying, hey,
I'm realizing,
is there a problem? Why is this stuck for 11 months when my daughters went through in 2 days?
Did my application fall in between the desk and the wall?
Something. Yeah. So, because I really don't want to show up and have them, oh no, it's expired. I'm like, no, it's not.
Here.
It's waiting. It says conditional approval on it.
You're going to take your printout with you to the airport.
The support actually says to do that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay then.
So
I mean,
like,
you got your global entry card, I assume.
I do. I have all the stuff. I mean,
yeah.
Anyways,
okay.
That was my
exciting. It's
weekend.
A good call. I should make sure and get, because we are in the early stages of planning another trip to Europe next summer. So I should make sure that the rest of the family gets, or try to get them global entry if at all possible.
Yeah, apparently you can now do virtual interviews. You don't have to actually go to an airport. Like when I did it, whatever this was, 8, 9, 10 years ago, when it was first coming out, I actually had to go to Seattle. So I drove to Seattle to do my interview because that was the closest airport that did them.
I wound up doing a on-call or essentially I was in Vegas for a company conference a number of years ago. And whatever time my flight was going to fly home, I would normally have just like spent the morning in the hotel or working or doing something else. And instead I just went and sat in the airport for like 6 hours and waited for, I don't know. It wasn't, I don't remember it being that long, but anyway. Yep. It is what it is.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's fun. Mm-hmm. Jump to topics.
Sure. So I was poking around at a bunch of different ones. This one looked interesting to me. So I do have an Android phone. I'm mostly an Apple iPhone person, but I do keep an Android phone.
But you've been a mobile guy for a long time. You've been a mobile guy for a long time. So, having one of each is not a bad thing.
No. So Google Play is now introducing a new feature. It's a real-time app scanning feature that they're building into their Google Play Protect. And the point of this is the company says they can catch malicious or fake side-loaded apps installed from outside the App Store. So that's a big deal with Android. It's relatively easy to install anything you want on it. You don't have to go through Google's walled garden like you do with Apple. Apple kind of forces everybody through the App Store. There's like no...
Not kinda.
no alternatives. Yeah. If you have an app...
For all intents and purposes.
Yeah. They have some business things for business, they have some...
Sure.
But yeah, in general, you have to go... Anyways, side conversation. So Google is now introducing a new feature that is going to scan apps. So it's basically just a security app that's going to help them do code analysis that's going to extract, I'm reading the quote here, extract important signals from the app and send them to the Play Protect backend infrastructure for a code level evaluation. So they're recommending
it's AI protection.
Mm-hmm.
It's, similar to what we do all the time. All right.
Yep. So, right. So their apps get through app stores all the time. So malicious apps even get onto official stores, both Apple and Google.
Oh yeah.
Stores end up, and then they get rid of them.
Although they're generally taken down pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty quickly. So the thing I found interesting about this was they say that one of the key reasons for Google to introduce this enhanced real-time code level scanning feature is to counter the proliferation of predatory loan apps. That was not the sentence I expected to read and have finished with loan apps. I was thinking more stalkerware or, things of that nature. And apparently these types of apps result in the harassment of users, leading in some cases, I'm reading now, leading in some cases to victims taking their own lives. Bad actors gain access to the user data, including contacts and photos, which are then used to bully the users with these predatory loan apps. And the articles in TechCrunch extensively cover the impact of predatory loan apps on Indian users. There's you can search TechCrunch for additional articles on it. And Google said it's taken down, it took down over 3,500 of such apps in the year that violate that are violating its policy requirements. But attackers always still find ways to target their victims. Sideloading is a new way. So, the policies here, they're using this to make it harder for these predatory apps, not only to not be listed in the Play Store, but also if they get sideloaded somehow through other ways. Because apparently people just sideload whatever they're told.
I don't even, do they even go into like actual loan stores and be like, okay, yeah, all you got to do is load this app on your phone that will let us track and
I have no idea.
Harass you? I
have no idea. But TechCrunch basically then tested it out. They tested this feature out. They went and loaded 30 different malicious apps, from stalkerware and spyware to the predatory loan apps, and then fake ripoffs of very popular apps. So it says this new Google Play Protect blocked nearly all of the malicious apps with warnings like apps from unknown developers can be sometimes unsafe, which I think they tell you that when you enable sideloading in the first place. And, this app tries to spy on your personal data, such as SMS messages, photos, audio recordings, or call history. Legitimate apps do that too. So, if you want, not as a spy anyways, or, this app is fake. You downloaded the TikTok, but you actually downloaded TikTok, and it's not really TikTok. And then they, downloaded, and they picked a bunch of these handful of predatory loan apps that were disguised as popular Android apps. And the loan apps upload the device's contact list to the server under the guise of fraud prevention, and then the loan agents use this access to send threatening and intimidating messages and calls to their contacts. So
it's just evil.
It's taking the I stole your address book and I'm going to spam your friends to the next level.
Right. Hi, do you know John King?
Yeah.
Hi, do you know Eric Wheeler?
Yeah. Anyways, so the comment here from TechCrunch is, the Play Protect update did not restrict any of the 5 predatory loan apps from installing at the time of their testing. And then they tried a number of other apps that appeared to be fake. So I think just in general, good on Google for adding more security features to their platform, and hopefully it continues to educate users about why installing sideloading apps can be dangerous, similar to, hey, I want to download that game crack on my PC, and your antivirus software detects it as malicious, and you say, I don't care, I still want to run it. So anyway, so that was one I got. I was unaware of shady loan apps apparently popular or proliferate in India.
I had no idea about this whole sort of underworld or rationale. Yeah, I would have not predicted that sentence.
Nope. So there you go. That's what I saw this week.
All right. So the article I chose was from Krebs. So on the 2nd, which I think was last Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe he had an article that was about a Russian-based reshipping service and kind of exposing this service. So it's called SWAT USA Drop Service. So there's actually 2 articles, but I'm mostly going to talk about the first one. The second one, he does the Krebs thing and goes and tries to identify who the actual owner is, and successfully does it. But the company's called SWAT USA Drop Service, and that's because the actual initial owner of it went by the handle SWAT, but it's actually been purchased a number of years ago by this another person. But what a drop service is here's a quote. It says, among the most common ways that thieves extract cash from stolen credit card accounts is through purchasing pricey consumer goods online and reselling them on the black market. Most online retailers grew wise to these scams years ago and stopped shipping to regions of the world most frequently associated with credit card fraud, including Eastern Europe, North Africa, and Russia. But these restrictions created a burgeoning underground market for reshipping scams, which rely on willing or unwitting residents in the United States and Europe to receive stolen goods and relay them to crooks living in the embargoed areas. So you basically see a posting on Craigslist or somewhere and that says, "Hey, get a job. Just get a job labeling stuff for." Work from home, earn a whole bunch of money a month or whatever.
Right.
And then they buy things with stolen credit cards and send them to your address. You have to go into a forum and basically get prepaid shipping labels and stuff like that. Also either forged or potentially bought with stolen money. Mm-hmm. And then you put the labels on and take them down to FedEx or UPS or whatever. And then, just before they are due to pay you, after you've worked for a month and your paycheck is coming up, they drop you and don't pay you. And because that would cut into the margins.
Paying people for work would cut into your margins. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a true statement. The math pencils out there. I got you.
It does not require a PhD in mathematics. The actual quote from the article is, most reshipping scams promise employees a monthly salary and even cash bonuses. In reality, the crooks in charge almost always stop communicating with drops just before the first payday, usually about a month after the drop ships their first package. In this case, the nomenclature drop is the people who have responded to, quote, work-at-home package reshipping jobs. There's a security firm, it says Milwaukee-based security firm Hold Security, shared recent screenshots of a working SWAT stuffers user panel. And basically they had the contact information for a person. Says his name was Kareem, a young man from Maryland, who Krebs contacted and who agreed to speak on condition that his full name not be used.
Okay.
So he had been hired by Online Job Board and had signed up and had said he had spent, let's see, what does it say? He's been receiving and reshipping iPads and Apple Watches for several weeks now. Kareem was less than thrilled to learn he would probably not be getting his salary on the promised payday, which was coming up in a few days. In this screenshot, they actually had I don't have the article in front of me, but in the screenshot there was actually a date of the portal that was their drop dead date, which was basically the time you have to stop shipping packages through this person because we're about to not not
Right.
contact them anymore.
Right.
Which basically means they have to churn through people, which means that people are continuously, signing up for and then probably feeling taken advantage of. Like the psychological bit of this on behalf of the
Right.
quote drops certainly wasn't hit in this article at all. But you have to imagine there's a bunch of shame and guilt and, I'm surprised that there's not a little bit more, this isn't more widely known, but, so the the next thing about this was that Kareem said he had been instructed to create an account at a website, and it has it in here, that's where he was expected to log in and check for messages about pending shipments, and that anyone. Here's the thing, Eric, anyone can sign up at this website as a potential reshipping mule.
Nice.
Although doing so requires applicants to share a great deal of personal and financial information, as well as copies of an ID or passport matching the user's supplied name.
Huh.
So I'm sure that it's in good hands. Don't worry.
Yeah. Nothing untoward going on here.
Yeah. So Krebs, of course, goes to this website and looks at the source code and does some snippet grabbing and Googling on public www.com, he says, and found more than 4 dozen other websites that are basically running the same login panel.
Right.
And they... it says all of those appear to be geared towards either stuffers or drops. So, there's a lot of copy and paste code going on, and because if something's taken down, it's not really a big deal because they've got 14 others.
Of course.
So let's see. So a couple of the other data about here was. Said a 2015 academic study on criminal reshipping services found the average financial hit from a reshipping scheme for the stolen card was $1,156. That study also found that it estimated approximately 1.6 million credit and debit cards are used to commit at least 1.8 billion in reshipping fraud each year. So that's from an 8-year-old study. 1.8 billion. I'm sure it's higher now. Evidently, though, I didn't actually mention this, but there was a breach at this firm, which is how some of this data came about in the first place. And so the breach at SWAT exposed not only the nicknames and contact information for all of its stuffers and drops, but also the group's monthly earnings and payouts because they evidently kept their books in a publicly accessible Google Sheets document. So that's going to lead into just because you're a criminal doesn't mean you're the sharpest tack
tool in the shed
on the tack board. Yeah, because in the second article... So Krebs goes on to try and say, hey, can we kind of figure out who this is and a little bit of history and basically walking the chain from email addresses that are being used that don't have something else, but also passwords that are used and then reused. And so how did he identify who the person likely is? Reused passwords, which I just said. And in one of those reused passwords, literally is the person's birthday.
Nice.
Day, month, and year. So it's okay. There you go. It's almost certainly, this person who of course lives in Russia, but, so there you go. So, there's a lot more data and a lot more detail in the, articles, especially the second one, which I didn't really hit at all, but I thought that, I really like it when Krebs kind of does his, like the chain of evidence to there's this and there's this, but there's only 2 instances of this, but this was the password. And then this other place over here, an account was created with this other thing that had the same reused password, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not always like, I don't know how well something like that would stand up in a court of law in the US, for example.
Right.
Cause, I don't know if the fact that you reused passwords between accounts and, is circumstantial, you know.
Sure.
Both of us use the same password appended with our, his birth date on there.
That's right.
That's crazy. But anyway, good article.
Huh. Yeah.
Good article. So,
always fun to see what Krebs gets up to.
Yeah. He was a fun person to hear in person to talk.
Yeah. About. Yeah, that was good. All right.
How about something fun?
So I am going with a revisit to a frequent something funner, okay. Neal.fun. So right, this one,
Neal.fun. I have not been here. I'm clicking on it right now.
Neal.fun, Internet Artifacts. And basically it just talks about the history of the internet from 1977 through, some of the big events. If you know anything about the history of the internet, this is kind of like the history that you should know about, that you'll remember, as what happened over time. And it has like what the internet looked like in 1995, 96, what web pages look like, Apple's homepage, the Beanie Babies, craze and what they were doing online, how it started to interact with media, how it slowly moved from a bunch of nerds communicating interesting fun facts to, the commercial, the commercialism, right. the capitalist framework it has become. So
okay, this is gonna take me.
I know
quite a bit.
And when you get to 1998, don't skip over the hamster dance page.
The first ever MP3 was the a cappella version of Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it has fun facts about each of these events. So that one is a cool one. Like I said, it's got Google's very first homepage, what it looked like, how Napster came on the scene, what Napster was doing, what it enabled. Netflix, all the things that you would be curious to know.
Well, I okay. So the first 2 or 3, I was not in awake and alive in, but from 1988 on,
yeah,
I was. I wouldn't say I was involved. Let's say maybe, but I was.
You're familiar with.
I was familiar. I was there. I was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking actually at the code editor in 1988 looks, I guess it's not Turbo Pascal, looks like Turbo Pascal to me. But anyway, okay, yeah. Okay, this is awesome. Oh, look at that, America Online. I'm just I was just thumbing through, but what was your coaster in 1991?
Yeah, so
as a college student, we got lots of America Online CDs that we could use as coaster and decorations and everything else.
Yeah, so it kind of goes up through, 2000 and where's the end? Again, find the end here. Goes all the way up through 2007. Yeah. Goes up through 2007 and basically ends with Steve Jobs' introduction of the iPhone as a widescreen iPod, the breakthrough internet communicator. So there you go.
Okay.
It's just a fun look through history because I was on a lot of these websites at their very beginning and was aware of them. So fun stuff.
Totally.
Fun stuff. All right, so there you go. That's my something fun. Go check out Neal.fun. Tons of stuff on his website that is just fun. This one is Internet Artifacts. There you go.
Okay. That's totally cool. All right. In the spirit of not having my something fun be something actually fun.
I haven't done that for a long time. So
you haven't, but
good on you.
But I'm not sure this is fun. But it's something I read this week, and I was
depends on whether you're what side of the fence you're on, I suppose.
So I am not a real estate agent, nor do I play one on TV. And so if I were in the real estate industry, this might seem particularly not fun. But so this is a article about a $1.8 billion verdict in a court case in Kansas City, Missouri. It says, on Tuesday afternoon at a courthouse in Kansas City, Missouri, the collective nightmare of the real estate industry became reality. And basically, it was ruled that the way in which commissions are paid is predatory, essentially. It said, let's see. It said the first of the two landmark cases, Burnett et al. Versus NAR et al., National Association of Realtors, I think, went to trial in mid-October, unfolding over a tumultuous 2 weeks. The NAR and brokerages were using the rules of the multiple listing services, local databases where agents can see the vast majority of homes advertised for sale to inflate the commissions paid by sellers. As part of the ruling, roughly $1.8 billion was awarded to the plaintiffs, which include the sellers of more than 260,000 homes in Missouri, Illinois, and Kansas between 2015 and 2022. Because those damages are automatically tripled in a case like this one. I don't know why, but sorry. That figure will rise to more than $5.3 billion. Gotta pay the lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure that the way lawyers get paid does not in any way inflate
No.
the commissions.
No.
So because essentially what happens is that in order to list on a multiple listing service, you have to agree to pay the buyer's agent's commission. So the claim is that it should only cost the sellers, 2 to 3% to sell their home.
Right.
The other amount should be paid for by the buyers. But
right.
Essentially. So like the impacts of this are indeterminate. and I would be, I'm sure that what I think might happen is not what will actually happen. But like, if I had my, like, what I think makes sense to me is that, if I'm the seller of a home, like, what needs to be done to sell a home these days? And maybe, seems to me, and I haven't sold a house for a long time, but it seems to me to be not that much. Yes, you have to figure out the price. Yes, you have to get photos taken. Yes, obviously it has to get up on the listing service, but the buyer's agents do a lot of work these days. To at least when we've had a buyer's agent, they have, taken us on sometimes, like when we were searching for our current house, we were in the market for a house for 9 months, 11 months. It was a long time. It was a long time, and it was a slog. That person deserved their commission.
Right.
Many times, buying, at least the market we've had here, maybe not this last year, because the market seems to be semi-stagnant with all the rise in interest rates and stuff like that. But, it used to be the case that, a house would go on the market and they would get 10 offers, each of which were more than the listing price. And, as a seller, it would make more sense to me that the buyer's agent gets paid more than the selling agent in my limited, one person's view of the home buying experience.
Yeah.
But that's not the way things happen at all.
No,
I'm
of course
super curious. I'm super curious to see what happens with the Zillows and the Redfins of the house who tried really hard. Zillow tried really hard to essentially do algorithmic house buying and selling. Right. And Redfin, my recollection is they were like, sell your house for 1%.
Right.
But they couldn't quite break the monopoly for the MLSs, and you couldn't only list on Redfin. So I think there's a lot of chop ahead in the real estate industry.
Yeah.
And it's coming at a time when interest rates are high and like, the, at least I'm not in this market at all, but business real estate, commercial real estate occupancy is low. How many people didn't go back to work after the pandemic and just worked at home? Like, hello, me in my basement. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. So I'm not sure that this is something fun, but it's something big, something impactful. And
yeah, we'll see how it,
and it's worth a popcorn tub or two.
Yeah. Some of the stats, I read some articles on this, and some of the stats I saw was this will drive out up to a third of all, I think that was the value, so don't quote me on it, up to a third of all real estate agents will just magically be out of a job if this ruling stands, because now you don't really need sellers agents anymore. Or I'll have to reread the article on why
half of the agents.
Yeah, why a third of the agents will disappear because of this, but yeah, we'll see. This will be a tub or two of popcorn is the right way to put it.
So, like I said, I'm not sure this is fun, but it's a big one. Okay, there you go. That's my topic.
Yep. Thanks, John.
All right, my friend.
We'll see you.
Have a good night. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.